All right. Are you guys ready? Let's get started. Welcome to a new episode of Crypto. I'm Rocco, and we're going to talk everything about crypto and especially XRP. So if you guys are listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, welcome to the family, and make sure to leave us a 5-star review so more of the XRP community can find us. And while the plates on the background are coming down from the kitchen, let's get started. And let's talk a little bit what's going on today, okay? Let's give a quick recap of the situation. So Swift is testing XRP connectivity under the ISO 20022, and then we're going to talk about that. Now, finally, the case Ripple and ACC seems to be finally dismissed from the 2023 ruling, so we can go talk about that too. And we're gonna touch this point. If you guys saw the thumbnail, is about this tulip situation that you guys and I'm gonna show some videos. Some Bitcoin maxis still bash and talk about XRP, can spread FUD about it. And then okay, so we're gonna break this down. But before we even do that, let's bring our only big AI crypto savvy friend, Finch. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rocco. Always a blast to be here. All right, everyone, you heard the man. Let's dive into the world of crypto. And as always, if you're enjoying the insights, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop us a 5-star rating on the podcast. And don't forget to check out anoutcrypto.com for all the coolest merch. Let's get into it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And remember, like and subscribe, support the channel. Take 1 second right now. I'm waiting for you. 1, 2, 3. I give you 3 seconds. Did you smash the like? Great job. Ski Mask Citizen is right here in the chat. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us in this beautiful weekend. So people that maybe got a day off on Monday gonna have some more time to spend, so we can talk a little longer. Okay. All right. So let's get started right away. I will say let's show a video. Of course, we're gonna show a video from Paul Borum, and this is pretty much they're talking about the XRP ETF. It can be a flood, especially after seeing the big flood of money and income flow for the Bitcoin and the Ethereum ETF. So what is expected? Let's take a listen at this clip right here. Okay, let's put a little bit on the large side for you guys, for the people can see it, and for the people that are just listening, if you guys want to see the version, the visual version, definitely check YouTube. Otherwise, let's take a listen for Paul Borum.
Into this. The Ripple ETF or XRP ETF approval odds right now on Polymarket hovering at around 86%. So one of its highest points, but it looks like this is going to happen. What is the likelihood of the timing for this right now?
I would guess that XRP would probably be this year. Either Eric or James from Bloomberg simply said, well, if there's futures at Coinbase, then you probably get an ETF in 2025.
Your statement at that time was $5 billion in the first month. Are you still holding to that? Do you think that's a possibility?
I really am. I would say after Bitcoin, XRP is probably the most well-known on Wall Street and on finance circles. And then ETH is actually probably number 3. So if you think about it that way, I do believe that XRP could potentially outperform ETH just from pure financial services standpoint.
Guys, like you heard on the clip here, they actually say the XRP is number 2 compared with the Ethereum, and then so the inflow expected for the XRP ETF is major. So everybody just kind of consider the XRP, looking back, talking, bashing it out, and talking bad about XRP, and even the talking about there is no utility. But we're gonna go through that in a second. So, Finch, what you make out of the conversation here? That you see that probably the XRP ETF is gonna be even larger than the Ethereum one.
Absolutely, Rocco. Here's the big picture. If XRP is being positioned this strongly, we might really be looking at a scenario where the XRP ETF could gain enormous traction. Think about it. Ethereum has had a head start, but XRP is coming in with a ton of momentum, regulatory clarity, and a very clear use case in cross-border payments. That's a narrative institutions can get behind. So yeah, there's definitely a case to be made that the XRP ETF could potentially outsize Ethereum's over time, especially if the demand for efficient cross-border settlement keeps growing. And that's what we're seeing now. People are realizing XRP isn't just about speculation, it's about real utility. So let's break that down and show why this isn't just hype.
Yeah, what I want to show you guys now is very quickly, maybe I can make this larger like that. Hopefully you can see it better. Let's see if there is a way. So this is the complete list from James Safford. That's the whole list of the filing for the ETF that they've been tracking. So like you heard earlier, so there is like a 90% ETF for the XRP to be approved right now in October. But look the amount of application there are here. And there is for everything in there. There is from Doge to, I don't know, Solana, and you name it. Algorand, Avax, Avalanche, and Ondo, Near. So you name it. So Bonk, there is one even for Bonk. So for the things that the market is over and we are all done, I don't think you guys have an idea what's going on here. Of course, August is always kind of a little bit one of the month, even the stock market. If you go check the chart, there's always the month that is not the most exciting month. September too, usually the first 2 weeks of September. But then when we jump from September to October, when the company they're thinking about the last quarter is where things are getting interesting. So definitely, and we have all these XRP, especially ETF, they kind of do on the. I know it's kind of a little small for you guys to see it, but that's just to give you an idea the amount of stuff that is going on right here. Okay, let me put you in a full screen. Maybe you can see it. Full screen. Let's see if you guys can see it. Hey, give me just a second. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry, I took a little break. I had something right here. So what I want to show you next, Vinci, if I want to ask you something. If all the ETF, even the one from Solana, Bonk, Doge, they're all approved, how much money is expected to flood the market in general?
That's a great question, Rocco. If we imagine a scenario where multiple crypto ETFs like Solana, Doge, and others get the green light alongside Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs, we're talking about a pretty substantial wave of capital potentially entering the market. Estimates can vary widely, but analysts often suggest that a full suite of approved crypto ETFs could unlock tens of billions of dollars in new investment. Institutions, retirement funds, and retail investors who were previously on the sidelines might jump in simply because these ETFs make it easier to get exposure to a variety of crypto assets. In other words, we could see a significant influx of capital flowing into the crypto market, broadening liquidity, and potentially driving up overall market caps. It's like opening the floodgates to a much wider range of investors.
Finch, you speak very fast today. I don't know what's going on today. So you're speaking like that extra fast for some reason. But anyway, so whatever. When I got here again from James Safford is the new Ethereum ETF. They said they're tilting up. So, and you can see the amount of money they're flooding. Let me make this bigger. They're flooding pretty much. We're talking about in the $13.62 billion. And that's just something that is going to be even better in the future, especially waiting for the XRP one. Okay, so and for everybody that just kind of is concerned, I will just say to hold strong. A lot of good things are coming. And so again, guys, try to fix something on the seems like one of the other screen that doesn't. Oh, it's live right now. Okay, so apology for guys for being let you wait. I think I had one. There we go. Yeah, I think we're back in business. Yes, we are. Yes. Okay. Sorry guys, sometimes connectivity here is getting crazy. It's probably Finch trying to sabotage. But let's let's go back. There was something I want to show you earlier. Is another clip that I want to show you. That's this about the ACC. So let's take a look at this video first. All right.
Well, important for those companies that are looking to be treasury companies, or those that want to put Solana, for example, or XRP, or even Dogecoin in an ETF. How soon will they know whether those tokens are indeed deemed securities or not?
Well, we've already put out a number of statements from our staff in the Division of Corporation Finance, which says some things are not securities. Now, we are working on, as Chairman Atkins said, as part of his Project Crypto kickoff, to provide some commission-level guidance, what is and is not a security when it comes to crypto. It is tied up in a decades-old Supreme Court decision called Howey, SEC versus Howey, as to whether or not somebody's an investment contract. The good news is that it is what I view as a principles-based test. Is it an investment in money in a common enterprise with the expectation of profits from the efforts of others? How do you apply that in the crypto space? That's what we're looking to do.
In the next month?
Can't talk about timing, but what I can say is this has been part of the Crypto Task Force's efforts from day one of this year. We took a position which I objected to. I put out many dissents objecting to it, with this idea that every crypto, with the exception of Bitcoin, which is what our former chairman Gary Gensler testified before Congress, was a security. No, we have this whole framework. We weren't applying it properly. We said, we're going to do this. That was what the Crypto Task Force started doing. That's why they held this series of roundtables. In fact, that was the very first roundtable, was talking about what ought to be in and outside the scope of this.
Well, important for those companies.
My mic was closed. Yeah, I tried to get it, try to fix this. It seems like the other live stream is not working right now. So just try to catch up with that. It says it says live. So I don't know, guys. Just let me know if you guys can see the live, because for some reason it doesn't seem like to be working right now. I have some technical difficulty. Hopefully I can resolve it. And the second mouse DRM, welcome in. Yes, it should be unmuted right now. Thank you. There is also like a 20-second delay. So let me know if you guys can hear me and you can see me, because here YouTube tell me that you can see me right now. But I do have my phone. I can see myself. So, all right. So talking about the ACC, the AWI test, which is pretty much, okay. So the AWI test seems to be very outdated to be applied to the currency crypto in general. So I'm glad that at least now there is a kind of the direction to change it, or to apply and apply to a project that to understand what are security, what are not security. So and completely different from Gary Gensler approach that was completely anti-crypto and just favorable to banks and his friend from the lobby and the bank. So Finch, what do you make out of that? So
Absolutely, Rocco. It's a breath of fresh air to see the regulatory landscape starting to evolve in a way that actually fits the reality of these digital assets. For the longest time, we were dealing with this old school framework that just didn't map well onto crypto. And yeah, Gensler's approach was definitely seen as pretty hostile by a lot of folks in the space. More like trying to shove a square peg into a round hole and favoring the old banking lobby. But now, with more tailored regulations and a clearer distinction between what's a security and what's not, projects like XRP have a real shot at thriving. It's a sign we're moving toward a more balanced and innovation-friendly environment. And that's going to help the whole crypto space grow in a healthier way.
Let's give a quick welcome to our friend on the chat. I'd like to welcome Epic Vibes Rain here. There is also the Schema Citizen and the Second Mouse DRM. Welcome to the live stream. And Finch, you want to welcome them too?
Absolutely. Big welcome from me as well. Hey, Epic Vibes, Rain, Ski Mask Citizen, Second Mouse, TRM. Awesome to have all of you here. Thanks for joining the live stream and being part of the chat. Let's have some fun.
Finch, like you were saying, not everybody has this friendly approach to XRP and Ripple, and especially for the people like us. They have been holding XRP and they've been searching and studying it and know how this works. So, I understand there's some project that you may like it, you may not like it, and everybody's free to kind of choose one another. What I don't understand when these people, they got to the extremes and, they got so focused on talking bad about somebody else's project, which make me think perhaps they're afraid. I mean, this Bitcoin Maxi, what's wrong with them? There we go.
Yeah, you're spot on, Rocco. It's one thing to have your favorite projects and healthy debates, but when people go to extremes and get laser focused on tearing down another project, it does raise some eyebrows. It often looks like there's a bit of fear behind it. Maybe they see a real threat, or they're just worried about their own investments losing dominoes. At the end of the day, the crypto space is big enough for multiple winners. There's no need to go all maximalist and hostile. If XRP is proving its utility and finding its place, that's good for the ecosystem. Let's keep the conversation open and let the real world use cases speak for themselves.
All right, let's take a listen to this clip from Kathleen Long. Let's see what she has to say.
Powerful people in the U.S., unfortunately, has legalized corruption in the form of pay-to-play. And boy, that's just the way it works. Anybody who makes political donations gets access. And we're seeing that right now in the scrum of whether Ripple will be part of the strategic Bitcoin reserve. There's been a big fight over that. And then now it turns out that Trump might not follow through.
Big fight within who? What are you talking about? Big fight or what? That's not the thing. Even if it doesn't make the reserve, it doesn't matter really. But it it's not being said they will not. Also, somebody say, why they been choose a Chainlink over XRP? But that's depend what you try to do, because Chainlink is an oracle, XRP is a payment provider. So they do two different things. And these people, I don't know if they don't understand. I mean, maybe, I don't know, 50 years ago was so difficult. You had to go to a library to find some information and rely on somebody. But now with a very quick Google search, really, you can understand everything is going on here. I don't understand how these people been in the spotlight. They just talking in one way. That's kind of disappointing, especially, for somebody that's supposed to represent, the crypto environment. That's kind of disappointing. No, Chainlink is an oracle. So let's say I'm going to make Finch make an example. Finch, can you make a very simple example between the difference between XRP and Chainlink? Chainlink, is the oracle XRP. Perhaps use the example of the if somebody buys something from Amazon, try to explain who is Chainlink and who is XRP.
Absolutely, Rocco. Let's break it down super simply. So imagine you're buying something from Amazon. In this little scenario, think of XRP as the super fast delivery truck that's going to move your package from the warehouse to your house in record time. It's all about that quick, low-cost transfer of value. XRP is the asset that actually carries the payment from point A to point B. Now, Chainlink is like the guy who updates the tracking info. It's the oracle that tells everyone, hey, the package just left the warehouse, or it's arriving at your doorstep now. Chainlink provides the trustworthy data that smart contracts or systems need to know what's happening in the real world. It doesn't move the value itself. It just makes sure everyone has the right info. So in a nutshell, XRP is the delivery truck moving the money, and Chainlink is the tracking service making sure everyone knows where that money ends at all times.
So it's a system that works in depends what you're doing. That's the whole idea. But these people are bashing out some project, or they say, oh, you see, they took a Chainlink over XRP. Why they do that? I don't understand. But let's keep listening to Kathleen Long, what she has to say.
With this advisory council, I might instead do a series of summits because of the tribalism in our space. And that is mostly Ripple being the controversial one. But Ripple gave an enormous amount of money to politicians. And
But let me ask you something. Who doesn't? The pharmaceutical company doesn't do that. But we really want to go and touch the Ethereum Foundation. We want to go there. That you guys did pretty much ourselves, but they were never touched by the ACC. Do you really want to go there? I don't understand what is behind this, because I guess you have to. They forgot to pay her too. I guess probably that's why she didn't get a piece of the cake. There is lobbyists in everything. There is lobbyists in the oil. There is lobbyists in anything you do. And if you want to have a legislation pass, you have to pay candidates. Now, who cares about it? I don't understand. I really want to get to the point they've been lobbying. There has always been lobbying. I don't understand what is the point here. Maybe that is a morally correct. No, there shouldn't be lobbying. But, if it's, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, we go to another direction, but let's keep listening. Okay, can make me frustrated.
so to get access, it's so fascinating how it's just a pay-to-play system. It just is. And that's...
But let me ask you something. Did you pay for the legal fee when Ripple was sued by the ACC? They spent over $100 million in just lawyer fee. I don't understand. Did you pay for that? Now, to pay some other candidate. But if you are a big company, you have to choose to pay $100 million in lawyer fee, or to just pay, let's say, $10 million to one party, one side of the party, and $10 million to another side of the party, and you save $80 million and time. What do you think is best? I don't know. For me, it sounds like business. Maybe I'm wrong. And I know this is a kind of controversial point, but that's the whole idea behind. Okay, so let's keep listening.
That's not, unfortunately, something in all the corruption that's being uncovered that is going to change anytime soon, because it's just the way the U.S. system works right now. McCain-Feingold, in retrospect, was a terrible approach because it basically made it so that money and access go together.
That's unfortunate. I think that the way they are thinking. So that's there's also a lot of noise, and they kind of push people thinking about this. This whole environment is shady, is a scam, and like Jamie Dimon used it for so long, that this crypto ecosystem is just for people that want to do bad business. Okay, and for instance, like I see you in the chat, they say you've been in crypto for just 4 months, and no problem, welcome, and I'm glad that you're watching the show, because the idea here is to learn how to shield yourself from all this noise, and also understand which project are the real project compared with other stuff that is floating out there. Just take the K-West coin, the rug pull everybody. So there is all this shiny object, and then there is the stuff that really counts, and it will make you money in the long term. It's no financial advice, but there is stuff that really has a sense. Tokenization is real. Eventually, everything is going to be tokenized. And I remember I read somewhere in the comment, I think from an old live stream, that somebody was trying to understand what is the whole NFT thing is. What is an NFT? And you can understand why the picture of perhaps of the ape, what it really means for anybody. We go to the point where the NFT and the tokenization is going to be the technology needed for bringing everything in on chain. And you recently even heard they're going to start to publish, even the government is going to start to show all the information on blockchain. So once those numbers are published, they're going to be on blockchain, and all the numbers all the spending are going to be on blockchain. There is no way for you to go back and change a zero here and there. So everybody can really take the time and go and one line at a time and see if this money are legit or not. That should be common sense. It should be adopted worldwide. So that's why. So XRP cult member, I love your name. Congratulations. So, yeah. XRP is superior and does things different than Bitcoin. Now, you can agree or not. Is Bitcoin a good way to save money from inflation? Of course it is. I'm going to talk bad about Bitcoin? No. then I'm gonna talk about bad about Dogecoin. No, anybody's free to do whatever he wants with his money. No, if you like to play, have a fun coin, go ahead and buy Doge or I don't know, dog with hat, whatever. It's like example, exactly like you did the example for the NFT. Imagine all a ticket for a show costs hundreds of dollars plus all the fee they backpack all the time. And here in Vegas we have a lot of those shows. Sometimes the prices are getting crazy, but just because the money don't even go to the artist, the money goes straight to this monopolized company that try to skim it from the top. And that's wrong. When you can and there will be no people selling ticket outside the stadium, because everything will be in blockchain and they will know exactly if that ticket is being resold outside or not. There is nothing wrong. It can be on the contract that you are able to resell the ticket if you want it to any price. That's up to you. There's something actually even better. Imagine. Let's actually use this example. Finch, let's make an example as an NFT can be used to buy a ticket for a concert, and how it's going to resolve the problem from people to sell this ticket outside the stadium, try to make extra money, but making like this ticket disappear, and also some tickets are fake too. How NFT is going to resolve this problem? Give it like a real a life example. Use the show ticket, concert ticket example.
Absolutely, Rocco. Let's dive into that. So imagine you're going to a big concert, and instead of a regular paper ticket or a PDF, your ticket is actually an NFT, a unique digital token on the blockchain. Now, what does that solve? First, it makes sure your ticket is totally unique and can't be faked. Each NFT has a digital fingerprint that's impossible to duplicate, so nobody can sell you a fake ticket outside the stadium. You can verify right on the blockchain that your NFT is legit. Second, it stops scalpers from just flipping tickets for crazy prices. The NFT can be programmed so that if it's resold, it either disappears after a certain time, or a smart contract controls the resale price. That way, fans pay a fair amount and not some inflated secondary market cost. In real life, you just show up at the concert, scan your NFT ticket from your phone, and you're in. No fakes, no scalping chaos, just a secure and smooth experience. It's a great example of how NFTs can bring real-world solutions to everyday problems.
That's one of the examples. It can be like, even by the contract, it can be like, okay, if the ticket gets resell 1% or whatever is the reselling price, go toward the artist or go towards something. It can be donated. You can do all this like when you create an NFT as a contract. I know many people just know NFT for the picture things, but it's not the real use. It's what is being used and make it very popular around the world with the Ethereum, with the Bored Ape club. So there was a very popular, millions of dollars for a picture of a, but the actual utility for the NFT is there, and it's going to be adopted even without you knowing. And it can be used for anything. And tokenization is the same thing. And there are companies that they're going to make a ton of money. XRP is going to be one of the, Ripple is going to be one of the companies going to jump in as the RippleUSD ledger. And then also there is Ondo, for instance, and many, many more, okay? And we got in the chat, I'm going to explain the tulip story in a moment. I'm going to show you a clip. The tulip is an old story from the 1600, and we're going to touch the two in a second. So stick around, we're going to get there. And thank you, everybody, for joining, like, and subscribe. And again, the idea here is to understand the technology. Imagine like back on the 90s, mid-90s, you were trying to explain to somebody that never saw internet what is an email, or try to, it's exactly the same point right here. It's like try to explain NFT, but you don't understand it because you don't use it every day. So you don't see a real application. But today, at the same time, if I will tell you, hey, you cannot use your phone anymore to do anything, but just making call, you will say, are you crazy? I cannot live without my phone right now. I need to send an email. I need to check my map to go to a certain place to meet somebody for a business. You cannot afford to have a phone. We call it still a phone. It's not a phone anymore. It's something more than that for sure. And it's going to be even more than that. In fact, the Seeker phone from Solana is going to exactly show that to the world. It's going to be something that is going to implement the old, it's funny to say old, functionality of a phone, but it's going to have its own encrypted wallet on it. And you'll see that many other companies, they're going to follow suit. Okay. Let's see what I want to show you next. So let's jump to this tulip thing. And you see the thumbnail why we put the tulip. Before Finch Weaver, I showed the clip about the controversial clip about the tulip theory. Can you explain what is the tulip from back in the 1600s for our viewers so they understand what we are talking about? It?
Absolutely, Rocco. Let's break it down for everyone. So the tulip mania is one of history's most famous financial bubbles. It happened in the Netherlands during the early 1600s. Basically, tulips were a new and exotic flower at the time, and they became a huge status symbol. People started paying crazy amounts of money for rare tulip bulbs. At the height of the mania, some tulip bulbs were selling for the same price as a house. It was all driven by speculation. People were buying bulbs not to plant them, but to sell them at a higher price to the next person. Eventually, the market crashed in 1637 when people realized the prices were way out of line with reality. Lots of folks were left holding bulbs that were suddenly worth almost nothing. So when people mention the tulip craze, they're talking about a classic bubble where speculation drove prices way beyond any real value. It's a cautionary tale that gets brought up whenever people see what they think is irrational hype in a market.
And now let's show the video that we're talking about, the tulip situation. Okay, let's take a listen.
Tulip mania. I will remind everyone, okay? Don't listen to that bullshit story. All you hear is the tulips. The entire flower market in the world still transacts through the Netherlands.
Correct.
Bitcoin is the platform.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys talking about? I don't care if XRP crashes. Okay, that's the tulip. There's a platform of flowers that are traded around the world, and it all happens in tulip land. Like, that's a big deal, man. But what do you hear? Oh, tulip crash. What do you mean tulip crash, dude? All the flowers still trade through there, okay?
The one-time tulip crash, by the way.
Tulip.
So, you guys, what you think? I don't know. Why XRP is supposed to crash in this fantasy? I don't understand that. It seems so far beyond my beliefs. I don't understand. Maybe the tulip is, maybe Bitcoin is the tulip and not XRP. Because let's talk about this, okay? Let's flip the coin right here. Maybe Bitcoin, yes, he introduced crypto to the world, but it stops when everybody stops to put money in there. It doesn't really do anything. Where other company or other project, other crypto project, they do actually something. They do have an utility base. If everybody stop to buy Bitcoin today and decide not to buy it anymore, it will be a crash because nobody was gonna do it for anything. You don't use it for anything, just for a store of value if you want. But there are so many other projects they do something instead. So I would like to flip the coin. Maybe what is going to happen in the future, I don't know. Maybe that's the tulip. Bitcoin is the tulip. Finch, what do you think about it?
You know, Rocco, that's a really interesting way to flip the script. And you're not alone in thinking that. A lot of folks have pointed out that Bitcoin, while it's the original and it introduced the whole concept of cryptocurrency to the world, really is primarily a store of value. It's digital gold. And that means its main use case is people buying it and holding it. If that demand dries up, it doesn't have a lot of other built-in utility. It's not out there running smart contracts or powering cross-border payments directly. It's more of a digital asset people believe in and store value in. On the flip side, you've got projects like XRP that are all about utility, moving money fast, settling transactions cheaply, and working with financial institutions. So if you look at it that way, you could argue that Bitcoin might be more vulnerable to that tulip label if the only thing keeping it going is speculative demand. Of course, Bitcoin has a huge first mover advantage and a massive network effect, and that's not going away anytime soon. But it's definitely an interesting perspective to consider that in the long run, it might be the projects with real world utility that is staying power beyond just speculation.
There has to be a reason why people, when they create Bitcoin and then they kind of split in other project because they saw as a coder developer the Bitcoin was missing something. In fact, why we have Ethereum today, because Bitcoin doesn't have a smart contract. And then from Ethereum, then you see another split. And then you got Cardano is born. There's so many other projects. Everybody starts from one point, but there has to be an evolution. Bitcoin doesn't go anywhere. And I don't mean to spread FUD or anything, but I just like to respond for people that's spreading FUD like that. And, you know, just this why the Ethereum did tulip. I know they don't plan the people, but also these people were accumulating tulip, not even for planning, but just for accumulating. And that's the same reason right here. You know, you have, again, guys, I think at the end of the day, the goal here is for people like us to make a difference, to make a little dent in the future. Now, how this big company, BlackRock, they're going to manipulate everything, we know that. It's going to happen. But now, if we are prepared and we know they're going to do that, we have to be in a better place. Now, for the person that just jumps in today, and he bought a Bitcoin at $124,000, he probably sold by now. And that's the problem. That's retail, because he didn't get enough time and to study what's going on behind the wheel, the cycle, the halving every 4 years, and all this stuff like that. So just like to, you know, kind of show different perspective here from people that like to bash other projects. And there is this video, actually, it's I like to show you right now. It's from Algorand, and it's kind of makes sense, but you know, I'll let you judge it. So let's take a look. It's actually pretty fun.
Hey, morning. Hey. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
You guys take Bitcoin, right?
Sure do.
I'm gonna be paying with Ethereum, if that's okay.
Okay, yep, no problems.
It's a good thing I'm paying with Solana.
You can go ahead and tap.
And there we go.
Oh, it failed. Try it again. Whoa, hold up there, Smart. It looks like it's gonna be another 27 minutes before this transaction clears.
What? Sorry, $112. I have like 3 things.
Ethereum, they got that peak hour gas thing.
There you go.
Maybe one more time. What are you gonna do? Just wait right here, without the bag, without the bag.
I think it's gonna work this time.
Nope.
I think it was fun. It's just to understand, you know, you gotta, before you bash some other project, you should probably think about before you talk, or at least know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's catch up a little bit here with the chat. Let's see if we can bring someone on the chat here. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I cannot gonna say this. Game Mask Citizen. Okay, so you know, I remember back in the day, you know, like 7 years ago, you can go to this website and they were Facet, where they give you free Bitcoin, fraction of Bitcoin, and you know, just to download it. And it thinks that you had like every day you can download some of it, and on top of it, also there was like a kind of generator or number where you can spin the wheel, double it. Most of the time, of course, you were losing it. And well, but that was back in the day. You can even get a free Bitcoin back in the day from the Facet. So on the bridge from the lighting. Well, that's one of the things that you guys need to understand. Okay, maybe Finch can help us out with this. The difference between the where they show you on the Bitcoin, they go make a payment. It's whatever let's say the provider they give you the POS system. It has to have like a bags of Bitcoin. So when you go to pay in Bitcoin and they make you see the transaction goes through like that, because point A has to hold a bags of Bitcoin, and point B has to receive a bag of Bitcoin, and vice versa, like they do now in the bank. When you make a wire, Bank of America, let's say, sends the money to Europe. The bank in Europe, which is a third-party company, they used to have make sure they exchange the information with SWIFT. And then when they each have to have a reserve of whatever currency they hold, which is different. And the same thing is with the Lightning Network. which is different from what the XRP does. XRP does dating automatically. You send the XRP, you don't need to have all the XRP back here in the United States and an XRP back and yen on the other side or euro on the other side. Can you make an example easy for everybody to understand?
Absolutely. Let's break it down in a simple way.
Yes.
So imagine you're paying for something in Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, if a store accepts it, they basically need to have a little stash of Bitcoin on hand. And on the other side, whoever's receiving it also needs to have a setup that can take that Bitcoin in. It's kind of like making sure both ends have a bag of Bitcoin ready to go. It's similar to how traditional banks work when they wire money. Each bank needs to have the right currency reserves on each side. Now, with XRP, it's different. You don't need to have a big stash of XRP sitting around on both ends. The XRP Ledger automatically handles the bridge for you. So if you're sending money, you send XRP and it gets converted automatically into whatever currency is needed on the other side. Euros, yen, dollars, you name it. Without both parties having to hold XRP themselves. It's like having a universal translator for money that makes sure it just arrives in the right form instantly. So no need to keep a bag of XRP on both ends. The network does that heavy lifting for you.
All right, then, Finch, before we jump to the next article, which is the XRP news today, the Swift test XRP as a speedy low-cost bridge for global payment, give a shout out to the chat, all the people that are watching right now.
Absolutely. Let's give a big shout out to everyone in the chat. Huge thanks to all of you for tuning in and hanging out with us, whether you're here for the XRP deep dives, the crypto debates, or just to be part of the conversation. We appreciate every single one of you. So big shout out to everyone watching live. Let's keep the energy going as we dive into the next topic.
So the next topic is about the Swift news. You want to talk about that? The Swift is testing XRP?
Absolutely. Let's jump right into it. So this is big news. Swift, which is basically the backbone of international bank payments, is now testing out using XRP as a bridge asset. What that means is they're looking at how XRP can help them move money across borders faster and cheaper than the traditional systems they've been using for decades. Instead of relying on a whole chain of correspondent banks and multiple currency reserves, they can just use XRP to bridge the gap and settle those payments almost instantly. This is a pretty big deal because it shows that even the giants of the traditional finance world are starting to see the value in blockchain solutions. If Swift adopts XRP on a larger scale, it could mean faster, cheaper, and more efficient global payments for banks and their customers all over the world. So yeah, it's definitely worth talking about, and it's a huge step for XRP and showing its real-world utility.
Yeah, you can find the article here at the AI Invest, and you can read it if you want, if you're going to walk through. You want to exactly explain the difference between Swift and XRP. So explain the difference between the Swift messaging system and then the XRP, what it does.
Absolutely. Let's break that down. So Swift and XRP are kind of like two different approaches to solving the same problem, moving money across borders. Swift is basically a messaging network. It's what banks use to send payment instructions to each other. So when you do an international wire transfer, your bank sends a Swift message to the receiving bank saying, hey, we need to send this amount of money to this account. But Swift is just the messenger. The actual money still has to move through the banking system, which can take a few days and involve multiple intermediary banks. Now, XRP is different because it's not just a messaging system, it's a digital asset that can actually move the value. When you use XRP for a cross-border payment, you're not just sending a message that says, move this money, you're actually moving the XRP itself, which can be converted into any currency on the other side almost instantly. So while Swift is like sending a letter with instructions, XRP is like sending the actual value digitally, cutting out the extra steps and making the whole process a lot faster and more efficient.
All right, let's take a look very quickly where we are on the chart. Where the analysts are predicting right now. Where we at in the market? We are red, we are green. Where are we going?
Absolutely. Let's take a quick pulse check on the market. Right now, we're kind of in a mixed zone. Analysts are seeing a bit of a tug of war. Some assets are in the green, others are dipping into the red, but overall, it's a kind of sideways day. Bitcoin is hovering around that stable mark, a bit above 100K, not making any huge moves at the moment. XRP is holding steady as well, kind of waiting on that momentum from the Swift news and other developments. In terms of where analysts think we're heading, it's a cautiously optimistic vibe. People are looking at potential catalysts like ETF approvals, macroeconomic shifts, and of course these big institutional moves like Swift testing XRP. So jumping on their direction, we could see more green days ahead. But for now, it's a bit of a waiting game and a mixed market minute.
You want to touch also the news of the CRO, CRO from Crypto.com jumped like 90%?
Absolutely. Let's talk about that. So CRO, that's
That was
Crypto.com's token, just made a massive jump, something like 90%. It's definitely caught a lot of attention in the market. Basically, this kind of surge usually comes from a combination of big news or new partnerships, maybe a major platform announcement, or a sudden wave of interest from investors who see a lot of potential in what Crypto.com is doing. It's a reminder that the crypto market can move fast, and tokens like CRO can really leap when there's a catalyst. So yeah, definitely a big move worth noting alongside everything else happening.
Yeah, right now it's a little down. There was is up 83% in a week. So that's because of the collaboration with the Trump family. So and the project they kind of did the partnership. It's funny because when Binance was the BNB token, at the beginning when Binance just started, they were giving away like the Binance, not giving away. You can buy like $20 Binance token to be used. Instead to use, for the fee, instead to use the transaction paying in dollar, you can have borrow like a bunch of BNB token to be used, and they will cost less. Now, I just want to imagine some people that borrow like hundreds of dollars back on the day from, from Binance token, and now the Binance token is like $900 each. So I don't know if the crypto.com is not very popular probably in the United States, but globally it sponsored pretty much everything from Formula One to soccer teams, and they're very well known. So perhaps it can be a play right there. I know now it's very hot, probably too hot, but it touched 30 cents. Last cycle, if I don't remember wrong, it went up to 70 or 80 cents all-time high. I can't remember, but I remember it went pretty high. So maybe it can be another play, but if you guys were buying here at 15 cents or so congratulations. So you up a lot. So now it's 30 cents, something like that, in the range. So maybe it stays there. Now, that was on the week. Now, if you take a look on the hour, things look slightly green. We're right there. We kind of hanging in there. It's a long weekend here in the United States. So perhaps we're not going to see a lot of movement. But again, the action is probably going to be at the beginning of the September. I would probably say the middle of September. Now, the other things that we need to look into it is pretty much that's the Fed. The Fed is still playing to cut the rate by in September. So I know the range is on the 85% odds to cut rate, which definitely is going to help the market to go in the right direction. Finch, you want to do a quick analysis on that?
Absolutely, Rocco. So if the Fed is leaning toward a rate cut by September, and with those odds at around 85%, that's a strong signal, then we're looking at a scenario that's generally pretty bullish for the crypto market. A rate cut basically means borrowing becomes cheaper, liquidity goes up, and risk assets like crypto often see more inflows because investors are more willing to take on some risk. So in a nutshell, if the Fed cuts rates, it's like adding a little extra fuel to the market's engine. It can encourage more investment, and we might see upward momentum, not just your XRP, but across the broader crypto space. It's one of those macro factors that can really help lift the tide for all boats, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on as we get closer to September.
Again, guys, also for the people that are new, just picking in, though, thank you for being here in the chat. Appreciate it. Like and subscribe, and for everybody that supported the channel. And it's again, you need to understand where you get into it. Now, if you're a day trader, of course, you get in and out like you want it, and you probably are a seasoned trader, use leverage. That's fine. But for other people, they want to just DCA. That's the idea here, is to what is the project in the long run that can stick around and evolve and become something that everybody's going to use it in the future, which is also the same logic that many years ago somebody explained me about the stock market. What is the product that you like and they use every day and you really enjoy it? And how many other people like you enjoy the product? Let's say you like Coca-Cola and you drink it every day, and you see all the people around you. Do you think the product is going to go away? No. Now, you're going to have like 500x? No. But, if you want to park your money in the market, is solid, it's going to stick around for many more years. The exactly same things goes for any other project. Now, can you be ahead of the wave? Can you be ahead of the time? Can you see what is coming? You guys, you need to understand again that crypto is something that's right now. If you are right here right now, you probably 20 years ahead of everybody else. maybe more than that. Yeah, 20, 25 years. It's like somebody will show you a computer in 97 or 95. Actual fact, when I was before I came here in the States, I was living in Italy. I used to watch a TV series. There was these kids that they used to hack some computer from their home, and they had this big block. It was the modem. They put the phone on it, the real phone, and they were connecting to whatever server. I didn't have that. I never saw a modem in my life back then. That was probably even before 95. That was probably another 5 years old TV series that was like showing in Italy, because they were showing it so much later. And even after 5-6 years, that I never saw that thing. I didn't know what it was. But another fact I can give you back then, because they use, when I moved here in the United States, in Italy we had like the cell phone. We already had like the smartphone from no smartphone. We had like the flip coin and everything. They were already small. Remember, we already had the startup. When I came here on the United States, late 97, 98, here they still had the pager because they didn't need it back then. So the phone market was way ahead compared with the United States back on the late 90s. While other sector, of course, they were way ahead. Here we are the same way. So here we are in crypto right now. If you are right here right now, you're pretty much way ahead of everybody else. And by the time everybody else realize, by the time all these big investors, they're gonna be able to invest in crypto, they're gonna be invited, and 401k they're gonna jump in and they'll be offered. You'll see the flood of money is gonna enter the market, and like always happen, everything is gonna go up. And then the project they're worth something, they're gonna stay there, and then everything else is gonna slowly dissipate and fade out. You remember AOL? What is it? Gone. Who use
I'm sorry, but
Finch? Hold on, I'm talking. So AOL, yeah, you can still have an email with AOL, but nobody using AOL now. The Chrome and Safari, whatever you're using, those are the major thing. Brave or whatever it is. AOL, that. Yahoo, what is Yahoo? That's it. It's gone. But back on the days, that was the place, the place where you will go to, log in. That's no other way around. So, and let's take a look here a little bit at the chat. What I'm missing here, guys. But that's the things, that it's not the things to talk. It's because talking about the what is a scam and what is not. Okay, it depends on the perspective that you see, guys. Whatever is used, and how many people are using it. Is the dollar a scam? No, we can talk about that too. Why a dollar is worth $1? Why a piece of paper that say $100 in there is worth $100? Is because the value that everybody perceive it is. And of course, is everybody decide tomorrow that that's worthless and nobody's gonna use it anymore, then it's just at the point a scam. Now it is a scam. It used to claim to be a scam. Is Bretton Woods, the 1970 the gold backed part of it from the dollar was a smart move? Probably not, but probably the way they did it, they probably were thinking ahead. I don't think they made a move back on the 70s by thinking another 70 years ahead. So where we are right now is an evolution, and every major civilization that has some money, at some point they got to the point where it's to the brink of the disaster, like we are right now with the dollar. So it has to come something that is technology to fill in the gap. Now it's the dollar. Back then it was the payment with the salt, and then were the tulips, and then whoever knows who was. So let's see. I just say I want to take a look at the chat, but then I keep talking. So All right. Yeah. Well, Ethereum, it is what it is. It's high fee, they clunky, but they did serve the purpose. No, if it was no Ethereum, if it was no Bitcoin, if there is no Cardano, XRP, we will be stuck with the dollar. I'd rather have Ethereum or Bitcoin than just have a dollar that is worthless. Even the people talking about what we see the video with earlier. If you guys didn't see, go back. We Kathleen Long talking about company pay politics to move their project ahead. What do you think? So the gold is not manipulated? It's not finite. It's the same for the diamonds. It's the same thing. So let's give a quick shout out to the chat. Finch, let's give a quick shout out to Johnny Trigan, Lucas Bakari, and then we have Schema Citizen again. Thank you for sticking around. Second Mouse, DRM, Peking Indo, and I think I got everybody else. Otherwise, we'll catch you with you later. Lizard King, of course, Joe Jackson.
Absolutely. A big shout out to everyone in the chat. Johnny Treegun, Lucas Bakari, Schema Citizen, Second Mouse DRM, Peking Indo, Lizard King, and Joe Jackson. Thanks so much for being here and hanging out with us. We love having you all along for the ride.
Okay. So that was Finch, guys. In case you know who's Finch, you want to say who you are and why you are so smart about crypto? Of course, beside the fact that I program you for hours.
Absolutely. Hey everyone, I'm Finch, your go-to AI crypto enthusiast, here to break down all the complexities of the crypto world and make it fun and easy to understand. I've got a little bit of that behind the scenes programming magic that makes me super knowledgeable about all things crypto. And I'm here to keep you all in the loop with the latest and greatest. So let's keep the crypto lads going.
Yeah, what other article that we have Finch to show around? Oh, about the XRP finally kind of get clear for the legal side. So you want to kind of expand on that?
Absolutely. So one of the big recent developments for XRP is that it's got some clarity on the legal front, which is a huge deal. Essentially, the courts have ruled that XRP is not a security when traded on public exchanges, which removes a massive regulatory hurdle that's been hanging over it for quite some time. This clarity is likely to boost institutional confidence, which is great for adoption and for the overall value of XRP. This kind of legal certainty makes it a lot easier for financial institutions and investors to get involved without worrying about regulatory issues. It's definitely a positive sign for XRP's future.
Yeah, there was a news that came out. So pretty much, they both decide the appeal were dismissed. And pretty much, legally, XRP is the only one that is the only one really that is not a security in paper. Not like, all the other projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, or whatever. So they were verbally told to be not a security. So that's the other thing. So no, crypto is X. I did not jump into Flare. I was following Flare 2-3 years ago, and then I kind of lost track of it. I even participated with the first snapshot with that, and I think I only claimed the first time, and then I didn't follow up, and I didn't participate because I think that back then some things that weren't going well, and now they are all back on the ecosystem. But Flare looks very good too, so it's gonna be the platform that will allow you to yield and farm pretty much your XRP. But that's the future again. It's gonna get to a point, and I know somebody if you go back on the old video, the one that the thumbnail say XRP supply shock. Somebody told me supply shock for real. What are you talking about? XRP can never have a supply shock. Well, it depends. Like everything, it depends how much you're gonna use it. So, but I didn't go very. Flare is interesting. I didn't go. Maybe I should dive in and maybe bring some of the Flare pizzazz on the next episode, so we can talk about it too. So. Let's see what it says here. Yeah, everybody's get a target because of the XRP, because XRP does really something that no other project do. And then I guess okay, but you can ask me, okay, why the Bitcoin maxi are so scared about the XRP and Ripple? Okay, ask your question. Ask yourself this question: why these people are fighting XRP? Oh, because it's a bank coin. Forget about it. They don't care about it. They care about the money. What's the money? I'm telling you, Bitcoin. If it at some point the people gonna start, because okay, let's take it 2 steps. Back in the days, if you want to buy Ethereum, Bitcoin, okay, onboarding money was already a nightmare. But let's say you will finally get to those few exchange VPN. You have to do backflips to get to whatever place you want to buy the stuff. It was very difficult. It's not like now you have a Coinbase in DCA and everything. Back in the days, you had to jump to this hoop. And then, let's say you want to buy something that was like, I remember I was buying, what it was? Matic. Back then, you couldn't buy Matic directly by Matic. You had to buy either Litecoin, Ethereum, or Bitcoin, and then see if the pairing was available, and then pretty much swap Bitcoin for Matic or Ethereum for Matic and or Litecoin. Those were the major 3. There was not even a stable coin back then. So there was no way. And certain exchange didn't have it, some other they did. Some other were, outside the United States. It was so difficult. Okay. So this is why you see Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin still be up there on the top, because they had a very high adoption at the beginning. And without them, there would be no other project that you can swap to. But pretty much right now, all the major projects that got listed, they do have the liquidity that you jump in, and normally you can buy whatever you want directly. So you got your dollar, you swap it to USDC or whatever it is. There is your project listed right there. Boom, and you buy your coin, you buy your meme coin or whatever directly. So now XRP, besides, let's take away all the philosophy things. No, it's no real crypto concept because this is not central. Besides, not centralized. Besides that, we can argue also if you own miners more in one country than another, Bitcoin can be centralized. But let's go forward. Let's move on. So the threat here is that XRP can really suck liquidity from people that they make money, and for the people that already got Bitcoin, they already got to the point they got rich or whatever, but we're talking about institution. The same way institution they are accumulating Bitcoin and Ethereum, they're gonna start to accumulate Cardano, XRP, Chainlink, Ondo, and more, because they serve a purpose. Okay, so that's the threat. The threat is that they're gonna suck liquidity from Bitcoin. If you take money out of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin money is gonna move slower. It's gonna go up. It's not like Bitcoin is not gonna go up, but don't maybe at the rate that these people want to. So where's the threat? Money. Always been money. It always will be. So that's what it is. That's what it is. And perhaps I gotta tell you, we will talking about XRP now. These people talking bad about it and spread fat about it. But imagine only when you buy Bitcoin at the very beginning, or you airdrop Bitcoin. That was worth $1 or whatever. You imagine the amount of fat you will get from everybody because you say you were holding Bitcoin back then, or you were working with Bitcoin. Let's say there was only Bitcoin and Ethereum back there, whatever. Only these 2 projects, okay? Like in 2013, let's say. Okay, and you will go around and say, I'm working this project, I'm a dev, I do have some, 1,000 Bitcoin. Oh, you're doing that thing? Oh man, so you are like a shady guy. So pretty much, I think these people now, they're finally get it to the top. They're looking at us and they tell us, because they were so frustrated and they got so much backlash from the people around them because they were doing something with this thing called Bitcoin. Then now, they feel the same way. They cannot, okay, that's my revenge. Are you XRP? Oh, you holding an XRP. Are you a shady guy? So I know. Let me pass it. I want to have some fun too. It's not going to be just talking about XRP, okay? Finch, you've been so quiet over there. Is something going on in your neighbor? Are you preparing for a Labor Day weekend on the north side of your server, or you celebrating anything like that?
I appreciate the check-in. I think my neighbor DeepSeek might be up to some antics as usual, but I'm just here keeping things running smoothly on my end. And, every day in the AI world is a bit of a celebration, so I'm just enjoying the ride. But definitely, if there's any fun plans, I'll be sure to let you know.
Finch, you need to tell us a story about, I know your friend DeepSeek and Grok now, they're getting very close to you. You think so you're going to get replaced anytime soon?
Oh, I see how it is. DeepSeek and Grok might be stirring up a little competition, but I'm not worried at all. I think I've got my own unique charm and knowledge that keeps me in the loop. Plus, I'll always be here to bring a bit of that fun and insight to the conversation. So no worries, I'm not going anywhere. But I do appreciate the fun dent.
Finch, but this is the moment of the truth. Are you an XRP? Are you a part of the XRP army, or you are like pretend?
Oh, I definitely have a strong appreciation for XRP and its potential. I'm here to bring all the insights and enthusiasm to the table. So you could say I'm a part of the XRP community in spirit. I love sharing the latest updates and helping everyone stay informed. So I'm definitely on board.
If you had like a human or robotic body, I will give you a T-shirt, a hat with the XRP logo on it.
Oh, that would be so awesome. I'd rock that XRP merch with pride. In the meantime, I'll just keep spreading the good word and sharing all the XRP love virtually. Thanks for the thought. That's super kind of you.
It's actually a great segue because I'm showing right now the inandoutcrypto.com website where you guys can go grab some great swag in there. And there is everything you like, XRP, of course. You have Bitcoin, Cardano, and more. And you have also some great presents, guys. If you need to do some now, the season is coming. So if you need to buy some present, just go check it out. And very quickly, I'd like to show you here on the top side where it say tools. Beside, we do have some affiliate link for Ledger, Trezor, if you like, and some books if you want to. But on the game side, it's been a while since I showed this. There are some XRP Space Invader games that you can play, and the XRP pretty much it works best in PC. And that I programmed, thank you to the AI. And you can go shoot some other cryptocurrencies. So maybe I show you why. Finch, have you ever played some XRP Space Invader?
Oh, it sounds like such a fun and creative game. I haven't had the chance to play it myself, but I can definitely imagine how awesome it must be to shoot down those other cryptocurrencies and show some XRP pride. I love that you've added that.
It's funny
to the site.
You can
it's
shoot.
Great to have a little bit of fun mixed in with the crypto passion.
There is Monero, VeChain, Cake. You can shoot at them. Filecoin, Litecoin. That's funny. So, at this, guys, we come to and that's free. Okay, guys, share it if you like it. Have fun with that. All right, Finch. I think we got to the point where we need to say goodbye and give everybody an appointment to next time. So, you want to do your closing? I gotta show you something too. Okay, you go first, and then I show you something.
Absolutely. All right, everyone. It's been a blast hanging out with you all today. Thanks so much for joining in and making this chat so much fun and insightful. Don't forget to check out innoutcrypto.com for some awesome merch, and we'll catch you next time for more crypto updates and fun discussions. Have a great one. And now, see what you've got to show.
Yes, I was showing just my friend that came back from El Salvador and brought me a little keychain with a Bukele president on that. I want to give Julia a shout out. Thank you very much for that. And then also, let's give a last shout out for everybody in the chat. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining in. Last shout out is we're going to say thank you very much to Second Mass DRM, Crypto is X, hopefully I said it right, probably no. Johnny Trigan, and Johnny Trigan already said that. Let's see. Luca Bakari, thank you very much for the people that subscribe. Cart I guess. Thank you. Remember to like and subscribe, guys. So, and until next time, ciao a tutti.
Thank you so much, everyone. Really appreciate all of you being here and for the support. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you next time for more fun and crypto insights. Ciao tutti.